Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and the upcoming segment is from our full Fast Break podcast that we recorded. And if you do want to check out that full podcast, head over to Blog Talk Radio /The Fast Break. You'll be able to find the full podcast over there. But let's move on to the Boston Celtics, and we're going to be talking about can Isaiah Thomas help lead the Celtics over the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals? First off, they got to get there. I think that's the biggest thing that we need to talk about first because, he has to get to the Cavs before all this, and this is really off the heels of that crazy game he had on his sister's birthday, putting up 53 points. He was unreal in that game, and then obviously we saw what happened where the Wizards came back, won Game 3 at home. Kelly Oubre with the play of the night, pushing down Kelly Olynyk. So looking at this,
dirtiest player of the 2017 playoffs.
First off, what do the Celtics need to do to overcome the Wizards?
Play good at home because apparently the Wizards play well at home because the Wizards can win home games. They just can't win on the road. So as long as you play good in the TD Garden, you'll move on to the Eastern Conference Finals.
It's sort of fair though. Like we've seen so much parity with first they lose at home against the Bulls for the first two games, and then it's like they got that home court advantage back. And I think honestly the biggest thing for the Celtics to knock out the Wizards is continue punishing off Isaiah Thomas and Al Horford. It's just that pick and roll is deadly, and there's not a great matchup for people to stick with it.
Well, and Gerald Green was looking like an all-star at some points, would be off of that pick and roll. I mean, he was drilling threes, and that's the one thing is I think all they need to do is continue that pick and roll and continue finding open shots because, that also wears down the defense. We see that kind of opening up. Once those shots start falling, we've seen that in the fourth quarter, the game that went into overtime. Putting up 36 points in the fourth quarter as a team. I mean, it was unreal, that comeback. So I agree that that's the biggest key, but also can this team grab a fucking offensive board? I mean, it's unreal. Marcin Gortat had 8 in one
quarter.
Game. I think he's averaging.
It felt like a quarter.
I think he's averaging in the postseason 4 offensive rebounds per game, and it's something that is spiked completely just because of 3 games. I mean, it's unreal what this is happening. I think you look at this though. I think we're asking. We needed a playoff segment, and this is what we came up with, at least with the question. And I think it's premature to ask this. At least
no disrespect to the Wizards.
So let's be honest. The reason why we're having this conversation is Dave, you mentioned before we started recording. The West is boring.
Yeah.
The East has
It's got the drama.
It's got more excitement than the West, but it's one of those things where you still look at it and you go, no matter what happens in Game 3, the Cavaliers will probably still move on with the Raptors.
Went to 6 last year, still won easily.
Unless I see the Wizards steal one, it's that cliche of when the visiting team wins, we really have a series. Unless I see that, it's Celtics in 7.
I think some
just by default of the Wizards are 1-4
they
on
won
the
Game
road.
6. They won the hardest game against the Hawks to close it out.
It's come on, and that's it. The Celtics are a different team than the Hawks, and if you can't even win on the road, there's no way you're going to beat.
To be fair, they were competitive on the road, though. Yeah. They had leads in both those games, double-digit leads. And they just couldn't close the game out, and I think a lot of the problem kind of lies on John Wall being the only. It's funny how we talked about how hard can Isaiah Thomas carry, and he's getting the guys like Gerald Green, Al Horford, Avery Bradley has turned into one of the better two-way players. I think.
Well, he was just hurt. I think that's why. He's
hit his groove.
Plus the whole Avery Bradley thing. We talk about you mentioned he had 50. Isaiah had 53 on his sister's birthday. Well, Avery Bradley's also playing off this too, being a close friend with Isaiah Thomas and wanting to win this for IT.
Well, I think the biggest thing we look at this, and John Wall, he's having a better postseason than this. We were talking about this. You were like, Isaiah Thomas is a story of the Eastern Conference or the playoffs. So I'm just saying John Wall isn't getting enough credit. 29 points, 11 assists. He's unreal. He's setting up his teammates. But you look at the teammate he should be setting up, and Bradley Beal, and he's shooting 27% from 3. This is one of the best shooters in the league. A guy that averaged 40 throughout his career in the regular season, averaged 40 in his first playoff season, averaged about 36 here. He's gone down. He went from 41%, 36 to 27. I mean, he's shooting
He had an abysmal game too.
He's making 2.2 3-pointers per 8.1 attempts. I mean, it's just something where you're getting offensive rebounds from Marcin Gortat. You're just not able to capitalize on second chance points. And we've seen before, John Wall isn't giving them tightly contested shots. I mean, yes,
No.
Avery Bradley's a fantastic
Between
defender.
Bradley and Smart, like that. Come on, you're going up against some of the best guard defenders in the world.
But
right
then
there.
again, Bradley Beal is a guy that should be averaging more, should be hitting his shots
Absolutely
more because
agree.
there's still open shots. And when you get shots like this, and especially offensive rebounds like this, there's going to be an open shot. And Bradley Beal needs to be that guy knocking down those second chance points. He needs to be that thing. So, I mean, looking at this, as long as the Celtics can keep that lockdown D, the game one, the Wizards combined shot 27% from three. They'll be able to move on. And if they are moving on, this is where we get to the question finally of can Isaiah Thomas help the Celtics get past the Cavs? Because it's a foregone conclusion the Cavs are going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I don't want to have the cop-out answer, but I'm kind of going to have the cop-out answer. I'm going to say no, that no matter what Isaiah Thomas does, they will not get past the Cavs because when the backs are against the wall, who's going to be, unless he's injured, who's going to be there for the Cavs?
He's never injured.
Playoff Bron. Not just LeBron, playoff Bron is going to be there.
Yeah.
And like the lasting image that I have in my head from a Cavaliers Celtics game is when the Celtics were like, "Oh yeah, we're the top dog," and they just got spanked by Cleveland.
I thought you meant the lasting image was LeBron James blocking Andre Iguodala.
No, I'm talking Cavs Celtics. When the Cavs, I believe that game was also in Boston. They walked into Boston and just spanked them. It was like,
but then
you can have the number one seed.
And that was the lasting image for Cavs versus Celtics. But then the game before, that was I think Darren Williams' first game or second game with the Cavs.
He had a chance.
Couldn't hit the shot. So, I look at this and I mean I don't think Isaiah Thomas has enough. Does he, Dave?
No, and that's the problem is like when you're going up against LeBron, it just becomes a matter of like how do you slow him down, and you can't really slow him down if he really wants to win bad enough. We learned that last season with him against Golden State, and when he wants to do something, he's just going to do it, and you don't have a choice. I think the Celtics team, the biggest problem with them is they, like you said earlier, they can't get rebounds. They're just absolutely terrible in the low post, and while we are seeing a great postseason from Al Horford, it's Al Horford from the outside. It's not Al Horford dominating down low because that's not what he's known for.
It's Al Horford leading the team in assists. That's what it is. I mean, 6.1 assists.
Man's a point forward out there.
But even out there, it's mostly off of Isaiah Thomas's ability and Al Horford's ability to drive. But then again, going back to that lasting image, LeBron took it to him down low, and I think it was second quarter. He would just come up the court, back down to his defender, and just put it in. And it was just 12 straight points or something like that, where LeBron was just rattling shots. So. No, he doesn't have enough because I look at Jay Crowder, and Jay Crowder he's a decent starting small forward, but he's not LeBron level. This is why you need a player like a Paul George or a LeBron James where you can kind of slow them down, and then you could attack with Isaiah Thomas.
There's only one team in the NBA that could take the Cavs to 7, and they're in the Western Conference. That's the Warriors. It's the only team that I foresee the Cavs playing
before the injury.
Yeah, but we don't see the Spurs Cavs being in the finals. Of the teams the Cavs are going to play this year, the Warriors are the only ones that they will see that have the opportunity to take them to 7.
Yeah, and looking at the Celtics, I mean, they're a great coach team. It's just they don't have that other it factor. Because again, Avery Bradley is unreal. I think probably one of the most underrated
He's been
players.
elevating his game.
One of the most underrated players in the NBA. Al Horford, he's completely soft on the inside, but if you pair him with a guy like Paul Millsap, he will be an all-star. He will be a guy that, those flaws, at least on the defensive boards, will be hidden. A guy that's, 7 feet tall, 6'11", or whatever he is, shouldn't be grabbing 8 boards. I mean, that's pathetic right there. He needs to be stronger there, but then again, if you have a guy like a Tristan Thompson or a guy who's strictly like a DeAndre Jordan, but if you have a guy who's super strong down there who can pull in boards, that can be hidden. And obviously Isaiah Thomas or Markelle Fultz, that is a team that can win championships. But when you're going up against a player like LeBron, you need to be full force all 7 games. You need to tire him out, and you need someone to shut him down. You need someone who can go up one-on-one against him. And the last player that we really saw do that effectively was Kawhi Leonard back in the finals, because even look back at the finals where the Cavs did lose against the Warriors, he didn't have any help. Kyrie was out, K-Love was out, and he still took it to 6. So, I mean, LeBron has been unreal.
Do you feel like Isaiah, though, in that like craziness of his Mr. Fourth Quarter, do you feel like there's any hope there? Because I feel like it's kind of cool because he does turn up another gear, but at the same time, but so did playoff LeBron.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
playoff.
Every good thing about Isaiah Thomas and his awesome performance this year, I just feel like at the end of the day, I'm like, Yeah, but LeBron can do it
I
better.
hate relying on stats. I hate, being like, well, look at this. LeBron, if he was doing this in the regular season, this would be the greatest regular season of all time. 34.2 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 8 assists per game.
It's not even a triple-double. Why are we even talking about
shooting 48% from 3 and 56% from the field.
Your MVP?
He's still struggling from the free throw line, only shooting 65%, which is his
that's
biggest.
kind of bizarre.
But then again, look at last year; he wasn't hitting his threes. So I mean, it's something where it's
the
something
free throw
one
thing, though,
category has to go down. He made a deal.
The whole,
But it's also
the
one
whole
thing-
free
hold on,
throw
real
thing
quick.
is, wasn't he revamping it? And Ty Lue's like, no, don't touch it.
Well, he fucked it up, whatever he did. But the thing is that if it's still last minute of the game, I still want LeBron taking my free throws. I still want that.
yeah.
He's the best player in the game. You're not going
Kyrie free throws?
Well, I don't
I'd
want.
take
I
LeBron.
don't. I would take Isaiah because he steps over the line.
Yeah, Isaiah cheats,
Yeah.
so that's cool.
Okay, we're talking
I'd take
91%
Isaiah, yeah.
from the line?
Is Isaiah on the Cavs now?
No, I just had to
but
throw
we're
it
just
out
saying
there
at the end of the
that he
game, if you want
cheats.
someone on the line,
I would-
Isaiah's 91%.
I want the ball in the hands of the
I
best
would
player
be confident
in the
in
NBA.
Kyrie, though.
I would be too. I'm not saying that,
But
but
yes,
I want
I
the
would
ball
put the ball in
hands of my
LeBron's
best
hands,
player,
yeah.
and Kyrie's not the best player on the Cavs. Sorry to break
Well, it's
that to
kind of
you guys.
like the '90s Bulls. Do you want Scotty on the line or do you want Michael on the line to win you the game?
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck if Scotty was 100% free throw percent shooter. I'm putting Jordan on the line.
Better yet, would you rather have Shaq on the line or Kobe? I'm going with Shaq all day.
The Shaqtus from the line.
That's an
different.
obvious. That's an obvious joke.
That's
That's
solid.
a different.
It is an
That's a
obvious
solid
joke.
just free throw stroke right there.
Anyways, looking at this, what's the one if the Celtics can get to the NBA Finals, blank has to happen. What is that blank?
LeBron needs to get injured. That's it.
It doesn't
that's the
happen.
only,
The
that's
Celtics.
the only
Does the
reason.
Celtics.
That's the point, Dave.
What do the Celtics need to
The
do?
Celtics.
I'm saying there's nothing they can do.
Well,
No,
say that.
I think here's the way it works. The only way the Celtics can win out a series against the Cavs, I almost said against the LeBrons, against the Cavs,
Against the LBJs.
is Jay Crowder goes absolutely lights out on defense. Avery Bradley does the same thing. They went through defense. Like this team is one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, and you have to give them that respect. When you look at the games they've had against the Cavs earlier this year, their margin of loss has been really bad in the 3 games they did lose. And that's the kind of scary thing because they eked out that win, and the 3 losses were all, I think, either like 8+ points. So, I mean, I don't know if it just kind of got out of hand. They put in secondary. I couldn't really recall all the games, but defensively, it's locking down Kyrie Irving and it's LeBron James. If you can lock those 2 guys down for a good portion of this game, I've seen so many games where you watch K-Love not be able to step up and fill in that, and you've got all these role players who.
But now
They're
the
not getting
Cavs
the
got
same
the second
looks.
unit. They got the LeBron second unit. If
D. Will, I know.
yeah,
I know.
if Love and Kyrie aren't there, just
But
put in the second
You're
unit.
going to trust Darren Williams against Isaiah Thomas?
Hey, if it wins a game, it has
It
before
won't.
for him in this playoffs.
I'm saying against the Celtics. They haven't played
That's
the
the
Celtics.
problem is when you have a team of role players built on assisting LeBron James, when he's not able to function at full level, they get worse shots. They're not hitting their shots. They're not able to do their role. You have to do everything you can to take LeBron and Kyrie out of it. And defensively, I think you can frustrate him. You can put Kelly on him and try to break his arm. I mean, you have to do
No, that's
something.
K-Love.
I think really the reason why we look at that though is the reason why Luol Deng was a Cav for so long and then a Miami Heat for so long was that LeBron didn't want to play against him because he was the best at shutting him down. You look
Why
at
do you
had
think
a
the
knack.
Bulls had all those
You look at-
great games against them?
you look at the contract that DeMar Carroll had. The reason
it was
why is
entirely-
because he slowed down LeBron James. Kawhi Leonard. I'm not saying this is why he's the best player in the game, but it gave him a lot of confidence. I would say, and this is why he was the Finals MVP is
Yeah.
because he slowed down LeBron James. Jay Crowder needs to do that, and that's the only way they're going to be able to win. And I don't think that's going to happen because I haven't seen it from Jay Crowder. He's a good player, decent defender, but not LeBron James level, not GOAT level of Luol
The
Deng,
problem
which is
I mean,
why.
with someone with his size, strength, and speed, like that combination is something that we don't see, and that's why there is no guaranteed answer every time. You got to counter that with Kawhi's length and speed, but he doesn't have the same strength.
They need Giannis.
Giannis would get pushed around so hard in that post.
Celtics
I
trade
love you,
for-
Bucks, but
Celtics trade for Giannis. There we go. That's going to wrap it up. Thank you. Oh, shit. It's just one of our videos scared me a little bit. Don't forget to check out that one. And also don't forget to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.